We are continuing the chapter. So now we are moving on to illustration number 11. The trial balance of a firm did not match and difference was placed in suspense account, and you are asked to write the journal entries, the rectification entries. So here we are asked to open suspense account. So that means we are going to rectify one-sided errors that will be affecting only one side or one account of a journal entry. So in such cases, we'll have to open suspense account, and what we are assuming here is this is done after preparation of trial balance but before preparation of final accounts. That is when we are opening suspense account for one-sided errors. Otherwise, we would have just written an explanatory note. Such questions normally you won't get. In normal questions, usual questions, we'll be opening suspense account for rectification. Okay. So the first one, sales book was overcasted by ₹200. That means there is an excess in sales book. There is it's not undercast, there is an overcast of ₹200 in sales book. So sales book is normally having a credit balance. So when there is an excess amount, the meaning is there is a credit side, there is an increase in the credit side or credit of sales book. So how will you cancel that excess credit? We'll have to debit it. So what will you debit? The sales account will have to debit. So the journal entry will be like sales account debtor to suspense account. We'll just draw the format of journal for this. You don't have to draw 3 columns because we don't have any correct entry, wrong entry, rectification entry and all. So we'll just draw the normal format of journal. We have only the rectification entry. The errors are affecting only one side of the account. That means we directly can write the rectification entry. So 3 columns not needed. You just can write this normal format of journal. So first one is sales book was overcasted. So we are cancelling that. So we'll debit sales account. So it is sales account debtor to suspense account. The amount is 200. You can write the narration overcast of sales book. The second one is goods sold to Manohar for ₹550 was posted as 5,500. Okay, so we are selling goods to Manohar and the amount is wrong. And you have to remember one more thing. This is one-sided error. So this is just affecting one side of an account. So goods sold to Manohar. Usually what will be the journal entry? It will be Manohar's account debtor to sales account. That will be the normal entry. I'll just show you the correct entry. When you sell goods to Manohar, it will be Manohar's account debtor to sales account. You sold it for 550 but we posted as 5,500. So this was the entry we made. And it is affecting only one side of the account. That means it is just affecting Manohar's account. Understood? Because this is something we are selling to Manohar. That means it is on credit basis and that was recorded correctly in the sales account or the sales book. But the mistake is with respect to Manohar's account. Manohar's account we debited with 5,500 but actually we need to debit Manohar with only rupees, what's the amount? 550. Understood? Manohar need to be debited only with 550 but we debited with an excess amount. So it is just affecting this particular account. Understood? Because it is written like it was posted as 5500. Posted means when it was transferred from journal entry to your ledger accounts, there was a mistake with respect to Manohar's account. Whereas sales account you have posted correctly, that means 550 was the actual amount, no? Yes, 550 you have done correctly in sales. So the mistake is with respect to only Manohar's account. So again this is one-sided error, and it is understood from the beginning of the question itself, because they have asked you to open suspense account, meaning is you don't have to write the correct entry, wrong entry and all. Directly you can write the rectification part, since it is by opening suspense account. So Manohar's account we debited with 5500 instead of this. So we have debited with an excess amount. How will you cancel that excess debit? We'll have to credit Manohar. So here we'll write to Manohar, we'll credit him. And how much should we write? What should be the amount? It should be the difference amount, because instead of 550 we debited with 5500. So that excess amount will cancel. So the excess amount means the difference 4950 will cancel. So what will you debit here? The suspense account you will have to debit. So it is suspense account debted to Manohar's account 4950. Yes, third one is purchases book was overcasted by rupees 800. Overcast means there is an excess in purchases book. So excess, what should we do? And purchases book normally having a debit balance, and which is excess now, which we have to cancel. So what will you do? If there is an excess debit, that you have to cancel by crediting. So amount is 800, no? Yes. So we'll credit purchases. So what's other account we have to debit? It is the suspense account. So it is suspense account debted to purchases account. The amount is rupees 800. Okay. Then you have to write narration after every entry. Then the next one is purchases return book was carried forward as 1220 instead of 1120. Purchases book is having a debit balance, whereas purchases return having a credit balance, that you already know. And it was carried forward as 1220. That means excess credit was given to purchases return. Purchases return are already having a credit balance, and the amount was excess. So how will you cancel that? We have to debit purchases return, credit the suspense account, and the difference is what we have to write in the amount column, that is 1220 minus 1120. Understood? So the journal entry will be like purchases return account debted to suspense account. The amount is the difference 100. Okay, you can write the narration after this, and then you can close this journal. Next question, we will work out illustration number 13. Past journal entries to rectify following errors detected during preparation of trial balance. Okay. So the first one is purchases book is undercast. Then we have certain two-sided errors also in that question. See illustration 13. They haven't asked you to open suspense account and then do the entire question. That means this can be a combination of one-sided and two-sided errors. Okay. So here we have two-sided errors also. That means you should have 3 columns as usual, not like the previous question. Okay, there we had only one-sided errors, so we just drew one format, I mean one amount column like the usual format of journal. But here we need to have 3 columns. So that is illustration number 13. So we will have a correct entry column, wrong entry, and rectification. Okay, the first one is purchases book under cars. There is a shortage in purchases book, and purchases book already having a debit balance. Now it is having a shortage. So how will you raise it? How will you increase this shortage? We need not cancel anything. If it is excess, you have to cancel. But here we are having a shortage already. So we have to increase the purchases book. So again debit it, and the amount here is 1000. So the entry will be written in rectification column because it is one-sided error like your previous question. Purchases account debtor to suspense account. We are increasing the purchases, okay, and the amount is 1000. Okay, the second one, wages paid for construction of office debited to wages account 20,000. So this is a two-sided error, and we have come across such entries before. Wages paid for construction of office can be debited to wages? No. It is a type of capital expenditure, and what should be the correct entry? The correct entry should be building account debtor to cash account. The amount is 20,000 and it is now debited to wages, so it is wages account debtor to cash 20,000. Okay, now we have to do the rectification. Building account is to be debited. Did we debit building? No. So now we will debit building. So building account debtor 20,000. Then cash is to be credited. Did we credit cash? Yes, we have already credited cash. So nothing to be done because there is no mistake in cash. Wages to be credited because it was wrongly debited. Okay, it was wrongly debited. So wages we will cancel. The next one is, third one is credit sale of goods 1200 to Ramesh has been wrongly passed through purchases book. It is actually a credit sale, but we passed it through purchases book. Okay, so that is the mistake, and it is affecting your both sides. I mean both accounts it is affecting, so it is two-sided again. So we will write the correct entry first. We sold goods to Ramesh for rupees 1200. So what should be the correct entry when you sell goods to Ramesh and it is on credit basis? So we will write his name, Ramesh account debtor to sales account. The amount is 1200. Then it was passed through purchases book. So we have to write it as, I mean the wrong entry we would have written like this, purchases account debtor to Ramesh account 1200. Now we will write the rectification. Okay, the rectification, for that you have to see both these columns. Ramesh is to be debited, Ramesh is to be debited with 1200. Did we debit Ramesh? No. So now we will debit him. Don't write the amount, just wait. Ramesh account we have to debit. Okay, in a column I will show the amount 1200. Okay, we have to debit Ramesh with 1200. If you look into the wrong entry column, you can see we have credited Ramesh with 1200. Okay, is it needed? Should we credit Ramesh actually? No, we need not credit Ramesh. So that is a wrong credit. So how will you cancel? We have to cancel that by debiting. So altogether Ramesh will be now debited with 2400. Understood? We have done such problems before. Then sales account is to be credited, which we haven't done. So we will do it now. Just write to sales account 1200. Then purchases account was wrongly debited, that we will cancel now. So to purchases account 1200. Okay. So this is the final journal entry, that is a compound entry. Ramesh's account debtor, 2 sales, 2 purchases. Then goods purchased for rupees 5000 were posted as 500 to the purchases account. Did you see that they have specifically written like posted as 500 to purchases account? It is only affecting the purchases account. Actually it is goods purchased and we posted as 500 to purchases account. Actually you had to write 5000. So the journal entry, the actual journal entry is like purchases account debtor to cash account. You have purchased goods for 5000. Purchases to cash 5000 is the actual entry, but you have debited purchases only with 500 instead of 5000. So it is actually a shortage in purchases and it is only affecting the purchases account. So it is one-sided error and there is a shortage in purchases. It is actually similar to the transaction undercast of purchases book. Understood? This question is similar to undercast of purchases book. That you should understand by reading the question. So purchases book we debited only with 500, but actually we have to debit with 5000. So there is a shortage in purchases account. How will you rectify the shortage? Should we cancel anything? No. We have to increase purchases account. So we will debit it again. So there is no correct entry and wrong entry. We will debit purchases again. With how much we have to debit? With the difference. 500 we debited. We have to make it to 5000. That means with the difference for 500 we will credit. Yes, so here purchases we have made for rupees 1040, but we recorded it as 1400. That was the mistake we made. So the correct entry is purchases account correct entry is purchases account debtor to, what is that person's name? Ramesh. So purchases debtor to Ramesh 1040, but we wrote it as purchases debtor to Ramesh. The entry was correct, but we wrote the amount as 1400. Okay. So this was the entry we made. That means we have debited purchases account with an excess amount. Actually it is to be debited only with 1040. We debited with an excess amount. So what should we do? We have to cancel that excess debit. So we have to credit it. And that excess amount is 360. That is 1400 minus 1040. Then Ramesh was given an excess credit. So that we will cancel by debiting Ramesh. So this is the rectification entry. Next one is 7th one. Goods costing 5000, sales price is also given. distributed as free samples among prospective customers, not recorded anywhere in the books. So now we are going to record it. We haven't recorded before, so we'll record it now. This was transaction number 6. Didn't we do transaction 5? Did we miss out any transaction here? Okay, 5th transaction I have missed to record. I'll just write it here. I'll just put the question number as 5. So you also write like this. I mean, just make the question number correct, that's all. So 5th one we'll do. An amount of 2000 due from Mahesh Chand had been written off as bad debts in previous year, was unexpectedly recovered, and it has been posted to the personal account of Mahesh Chand. The same transaction we have done before in some other illustration. And what will be the correct entry when you recover bad debts? The correct entry will be like cash account debtor to bad debts recovered account. Cash account debtor to bad debts recovered. The amount is 2000. Amount is 2000. The mistake was with respect to Mahesh Chand's account. That means it was posted to the personal account of Mahesh Chand. Since you received the amount from Mahesh Chand, you wrote the entry as, and it was a wrong entry, you wrote the entry as cash account debtor to Mahesh Chand. This is the normal entry when you receive an amount from a person, isn't it? You will simply write cash debtor to Mahesh Chand or cash debtor to Ram if you receive the amount from Ram. But actually it is to be written as cash to bad debts recovered. So this is the mistake you made. How will you rectify? There is no mistake with respect to cash account. Bad debts recovered we had to credit, which we haven't done. So we will do it now. So credit bad debts recovered to bad debts recovered 2000. Then Mahesh Chand was wrongly credited, which we will cancel. So debit Mahesh Chand. So Mahesh Chand we have to debit now with that amount, same amount 2000. So Mahesh Chand debtor to bad debts recovered is the journal entry. Then 7th one, goods distributed as free samples. 7th and 8th you can write because it is not recorded anywhere. So you just have to write the rectification entry. What will be the answer for 7th one? It will be free samples or advertisement account debtor to purchases. Amount what you have to write is the cost price. Okay, that we have done in previous illustration, so that's why I am not doing it. Then goods worth 1,500 returned by Green and Company, not been recorded anywhere. So similar to 7th one, this also will be having an entry only in the rectification entry column. Since it is not yet recorded anywhere, we will just write it in the rectification column now. We don't have any correct entry and wrong entry. And what will be the journal entry for this? Goods returned by Green and Company. We solved them first, now they are returning. So that is sales return or return in words, which is to be debited. So sales returns account debtor to Green and Company 1,500. That will be the journal entry. So you have to write with 7 and 8 also in your book along with these entries. With this question we are winding up the chapter. It's only a small chapter. You just have to think of the correct entry, wrong entry, and then look into each and every account, what is happening to the debit account, what is happening to the credited account. Then you write the rectification part. Okay, so we are winding up the chapter rectification of errors. Thank you.